Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Municipality of Monroeville Zoning Hearing Board meeting for Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Sharon, roll call, please.
Mr. Rosapel?
Here.
Mr. Grisiak?
Here.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Here.
Mr. Gatos?
Here.
Ms. Wilkins?
Here.
Mr. Dice?
Here.
Mr. Weldon?
Here.
I will entertain a motion for the approval of last month's minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Approved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting. Okay, then it's approved. Under new business, Paul, if you would, please.
First item tonight, 21-7-A, Tasha Godfrey Knight. Applicant requests a variance from Table 201A, permitted uses of the Monroeville zoning ordinance number 1443 as amended, to operate a child care facility in a residentially zoned area. The property address is 429 Raspberry Drive, tax parcel 855B170, in the R2 one-family residential zoning district.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Please come up, come forward. Would you sign in, please,
Yes, sir.
and state your name for the secretary?
Tasha Godfrey Knight.
Before we go any further, I'd like to welcome Heather to the new board, one of our new board members. Heather Wilkins, and welcome aboard, Heather.
Hi, thank you.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you all.
Okay, would you raise your right hand, please? You swear the testimony you're about to give this board this evening shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, state your case, please.
I'm here to propose a in-home daycare in my residence. It's something small. It will be about 7 children at the most. I have a large driveway that the parents will be parking in. My start time would be 7 a.m. and the end time would be 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. It would include infants and toddlers. It may not be 6 or 7 children on an everyday basis. It's through scheduling, but that would be the most children that I could have on a daily basis. And that's basically it.
Okay. The very first question we're going to ask, I'm going to ask it of you. Have you been certified by the boards to become a daycare teacher?
Right
the
now,
state.
You have the state certification.
right now I can have 3 children, yes.
You have the certification with you?
No, I don't. It's not a certification that you need to have 3 children. It's a, I'm under the ERC where you have family and relatives that you take care of, and you can have 3 of them. Right now, I have 2.
Those 2, are they your kids?
No, they're 2 nieces.
Okay. Now, you told us about the limit of 3. You want to go to 7. Aren't you required to get certifications for if you're going to hold 7 kids?
Yes, I am, but this is the first step that I have to take because I have to prove that the residence is doable for a in-home daycare center.
Well, don't you have to prove that to the state?
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't really have anything to do with what we're doing here. you have to be able to show you've got the right number of beds and chairs and enough toiletries and plumbing and heating and whatever else they might want you to have, a sleeping area, whatever. So you haven't gone through that yet?
No, sir. This is to get to move forward so I can have an inspection, so I can obtain an occupancy permit. And then the state will come inspect and make sure that I have the proper beds and the proper things like that. But I have to take the steps through the municipality to make sure that my dwelling is suitable for, I guess, the occupancy permit.
How many bedrooms do you have?
I have four,
And bathrooms?
2.
2 full baths?
No, 1.5. And I also have a half bathroom downstairs. I have a toilet and a sink downstairs in the basement.
Do you actually reside there too?
Yes, sir.
And who else is in your family that resides there?
My husband and my son.
And how old's your son?
He's 15. He just turned 15 on the 5th.
Do you understand what Mr. Dice is saying to you? It's hard for us to approve your request until you prove to us you have the certifications, you have everything up to standards from Harrisburg to us.
Right, but how do I get that if,
You have to apply for it, and then they come to your house. What we can do for you, if the board agrees, we can put this on hold until you get that paperwork.
I mean, they'll come out and measure everything, they'll come out and do an
They
inspection.
come out and inspect.
right, I understand what you're saying completely, and I was under the impression that I have to have the occupancy permit first from the municipality to say even that this is a doable situation. Before the state will approve anything, I have to have approval that the municipality is going to approve this business before the state will even move forward and approve it. I have my clearances, FBI, background check, I have a license, I have all of that. But I can't put that in effect where I live until the municipality gives me an occupancy permit. And then I move forward with the state, and they come and do their inspection, and they say yay or nay, you need this or that to make it doable for the child care situation.
Paul, does that sound right to you? Or do we have the cart before the horse?
I'm not sure. That's the first time I've ever heard that. It could be true. I don't know.
I thought we have always waited until they've gotten their approvals before we actually make or grant a variance to the permitted uses.
We did on the last 2.
I was gonna say, the previous applications we've had, they seem to have had that paperwork in hand already.
So I need to have the state come inspect first.
Yeah, and I think here's what I would suggest. Well, let's get through the rest of the questions, so traffic, whatever else might be on.
Board, any board members? Heather, you want to?
Yeah, do you have a fence around is the property fenced in? Okay.
All right, when Heather asks about a fence, describe it for us.
The whole perimeter is fenced in,
Okay, with what? Wood?
wood,
And how tall is the fence?
about 8 feet.
So it's
8 feet high.
Yeah, it's really high.
Give them a couple of seconds and know there's a camera
There's
up
on
above.
the screens now.
Oh, there's a picture.
Okay, and how many entrances are there?
You can watch the monitor. You'll see what the people at home are looking at.
How many entrances are there to get into the fence?
2. One on each side of the fence.
Is your basement going to be used for the daycare center, or,
Yes, it's a finished basement,
okay,
suitable for children. That's all it's used for.
Separate entrance into the basement?
Yes.
What's the condition as far as like the backyard? Is it all grass, or is there?
It's grass and concrete. There's concrete, there's a walkway along the back, and that walkway is concrete, but the rest is grass.
Okay.
Oh, there's the front.
Now, you said that the hours are 7 to 5. Is that going to be, the children that are there at 7, they're staying the entire day, or are they staying until midday and then they're leaving and then another set may be coming in at that
No.
point?
Once they're there, they will be there. They may come at 7 and leave at 2 one day. It depends on parents' scheduling.
Okay.
But they would never be there after 5.
So I'm just thinking of traffic coming in and out if there's,
No, they wouldn't leave like another family would come. They would all come around, not around the same time because everyone has different schedules.
Right.
But once they're there, they'll be there for the day and then they're gone.
Are they all gonna leave the same time?
No, because everyone has different schedules, you know, as well as coming
I'm
too.
just thinking of the confusion of the cars coming in and the cars leaving. Are they gonna all be relatively at the same times?
No, no. Everyone has different schedules. Perhaps, and it's up to me to schedule that way so that doesn't become a problem, you know?
Now, where do the cars that come there park to drop off?
I have a large driveway, and like I said, there would only be 6 parents, and what is the likelihood of all 6 families coming at one time? That just,
How many cars do you have?
I have 2 cars, and my husband and I have 2 garages,
Okay.
and we don't leave our cars in the driveway at all.
Can you show that other front picture of the house, please? The one you had on there originally? There we go. Okay, that's a good sized driveway.
That's my fence back there, the wood, pretty tall.
I thought I saw another picture with a fence.
There was another
backyard.
picture that had a better
It has a
picture.
fence
There it
on
is.
that
Yep,
side.
there.
On the other side, on the opposite side as well, those were the 2 sides I was referring to.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a dog. She
What-
lives in my house.
What kind of dog is it?
She's a bulldog.
An English bulldog?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a little fat,
Okay.
cute
Oh,
little baby.
that's cute.
And
Look good.
she's scared to go down steps, and she doesn't like kids. She's just afraid of them, you know what I mean? Too much noise and craziness.
So when you say they don't like children, what's your plans when the children come to do with your dog?
Well, I have a niece, like I said, I have 2 nieces that
Right.
come, so they are acquainted.
Right.
But she goes away. She doesn't like
She
it.
just goes into the room, go in another room?
Yeah.
Okay.
She goes away. Did you see, I have a pretty large
Yeah,
home.
right.
It's not small.
Right.
So, and if that ever becomes a problem, we just go downstairs. It's like a daycare downstairs, you know, the whole environment's set up for children
Okay.
in my downstairs.
Will you be operating year-round or just
Yes,
seasonally?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And how about other employees? Or anybody in your family, your husband or your son involved in
No,
helping?
my husband's chief supervisor at Schumann Center for 32 years.
Okay.
He's getting ready to retire soon, and we're thinking about getting a building for our daycare. But this is just something that I'm doing right now, so he will be helping me, but not here.
So you are considering an expansion?
I'm considering it. I'm testing the waters to see how things go, do something small, and I would like to. It's in my thoughts.
Okay.
So it's not in stone, but it's in my thoughts.
Oh.
Did you have a date you were shooting for to open?
No, sir, I don't. And now I'm confused, so I guess
We'll get to
there's some
that point.
things, okay.
We wanna get this other stuff out of here.
Okay.
Gary, I'm sorry. go
Now,
ahead.
are your husband and son also, they have clearances? Are they required
Well,
to have clearances?
my son doesn't, but my husband does. He works at Schumann Center. He
Okay.
has everything he needs. Everything.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Been there.
So he can provide whatever, you know what I mean? But he may need special clearances for for this
Right.
entity.
Okay.
So I'm not
You're
sure,
right.
but he's willing to do that. My son, he goes to Gateway. He's only in 8th grade, so he doesn't have clearances. but I don't know if he has to have them yet. That's something that I have to find out.
Will there ever be any overnight stays by any of your
No.
clients?
Absolutely not.
You said you have two are nieces, the other 4 or 5 children. Are they gonna be relatives as well, or friends?
No, I would have to see, because
Okay.
I would be, the child care service that I deal with, the ERC, they advertise for me.
Okay.
So I would have to see what comes my way and what I want to take. I
Yeah.
would be selective and courteous to my neighbors. You know what I mean?
So you're gonna try to have the same age group, or?
Oh, definitely. I would try to have 1 through 3-year-olds, maybe a 10-month-old if I took an infant.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But that would be the extent of it.
Now, is this gonna be 7 children plus your 2 nieces, or
No,
7
it
total?
would be total
Okay.
7. That is what the state would allow me to have, is 7.
Okay.
My nieces won't be with me when I start this. They'll be going somewhere else anyway. My sister's moving,
Okay.
so that, that's another situation.
And with your being the only operator, what happens when you have illness, personal illness to the daycare?
The parents would choose alternative childcare.
Okay.
That's up to them. They know I'm only one person. I'm not gonna leave my house to anyone else. So, that would be up to them to decide what they would do. And when choosing me, that would be something that they should, decide, take into consideration.
Is this a cul-de-sac at the
No,
end of the
sir, it's
road?
not.
It's just
It's a dead end.
It's a dead end?
Mhm.
Now, Paul, this was advertised. Did we get are there any residents that here tonight on this?
I don't think there's any in the audience this evening, but I have received 3 phone calls. One was an email in opposition to the daycare.
Okay, do you have that document?
I have supplied the email to the board members.
All right, well, let's make sure you put that in the record that we have here. And then you had some phone calls. If you can you supply the record with the names and who you talked to?
Okay, I can go through my records and see if I,
Put that in the record with the court reporter. And did you determine that those were residents nearby this house?
yes.
Okay. Did you receive any comments that were positive?
None.
Okay. Well, at this point, I think we're back to the question of whether or not she's going to get her clearances and licenses in order before we make an action and take an action on this. If that's the board's pleasure to have happen, a motion would be in order to table this matter indefinitely until she receives the necessary permits, licenses, and certifications from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we would expect that you would waive any time limitations that might come into play that would possibly bring your application in as a deemed approval. What I'm saying is, we want you to waive any time from now until you get those documents, and not hold that against this zoning hearing board, requiring them to act. Are you willing to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sharon, you got that? Okay. So that this, I want you to know, this could take a couple of months for you to figure that out. And you can always come back to Paul and report to where you are on this process, what the state is saying, and then we can reconvene this. So right now, it's postponed, or we're going to, I believe the board will postpone this. And it will be postponed indefinitely until you come back to us and say, okay, I'm ready to proceed with the other part of this application, which is getting the Commonwealth's approval.
And there would be no other fees involved. She paid her fees up
Oh,
front.
yeah, there's no more fees.
Right.
Do you understand that
Just have to
process?
come back with the paperwork.
Do you understand,
I do.
as I've explained it to you?
Yes.
Okay, then a motion is in order tonight to postpone this application indefinitely pending the applicant's quest to get the necessary certifications from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, at which time we will reconvene this matter. So this hearing remains open indefinitely with a time waiver by the applicant.
I'll make that motion as Bruce described.
Yeah, this is the motion to table with using the dialogue that Mr. Dice put in. Okay, I have a motion to table. May I have a second?
I second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, that motion carries. It will be tabled indefinitely till you come back to us.
Thank you,
At no more cost to you.
thank you.
Good luck. Thank you.
Good night.
Paul?
Item number 2, 21-8-A, Brian Beatty. Applicant requests a variance from section 207.3 lot and yard requirements of the Monroeville zoning ordinance number 1443 as amended to install a 30-foot by 16-foot concrete pad with a 16-foot by 12-foot shed that will encroach approximately 8 feet into the required 10-foot side yard setback requirement for accessory structures. The property is located at 112 Maple Crest Lane, tax parcel 741-L-276 in the R2 one-family residential zoning district.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Is the applicant present? Come forward, please. Sign in, please, and state your name to the secretary.
I've already signed in. Name is Brian Beatty.
Brian, would you raise your right hand, please? You swear the testimony you're about to give to this board this evening shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Present your case.
So my residential property is on the old Beatty Farm off of Logan's Ferry Road, by the old airport where the new Ryan Homes
If you
development.
could talk into the microphone. Yeah, thank you.
Where the new Ryan Homes development is being built. The property was my grandparents in the 50s when it was a farm. They built the golf course in the mid-90s. It just so happened my 2 cousins owned the course. I purchased the property in 2010, and now with Ryan buying the property and developing the houses, I always knew that I had an easement all along my property to allow me the use of my driveway and my existing shed. Being that the property was in the family, it was never an issue. Since Ryan has purchased it, I've had to sign new easement agreements with the new property owners, stating that I cannot have any dwellings, but I continue to use my driveway. So I've talked with the developers and the contractors and told them my plan to put a new concrete patio with a bigger shed in the southeast corner of my lot away from the easement. Now, being that it's old farmland and not new residential development, doesn't really cater to having a lot of flat land. Obviously, I'm kind of restricted because I can't use the easement where my old shed was. It was tore down. And the size that I want to go in the corner of the property that I want to put it in, there's kind of a top of slope. My whole backyard slopes gradually down towards the Ryan, or some of the Ryan homes. I supplied pictures of the rear property. The rear property isn't even going to be used. The 10-foot setback on the rear is not an issue. The side setback, I would like to have it reduced to 2 feet. I've had multiple concrete contractors come out. I have them here. I can throw them up. I guess there's a microphone here too. I don't know if you could.
Yeah, if you put it on the X.
So this yellow part denotes where the current easement is and where my existing shed used to be. I'd like to put it up in the southeast corner.
Could you push that up towards the board members? Look at the screen when you can see.
Oh, okay.
Good.
There you go, thank you.
So this is just a blow up of what I plan to do. It's a patio with a little walkway and a Dutch barn style shed with a gravel foundation. I can't obviously put it on the side. Obviously, I can't put it in the front. This whole land slopes gradually this way, and I cannot use this property. As you can see, half of my driveway is on the easement. So,
So point to where it's gonna be.
right here.
Okay.
So I did my best to kind of capture the actual land. This picture here is a Google Earth image. That's the only image I could really find that captures the slope and the grade of the land, the topography of the land. This yellow line is kind of where I depict the top of slope, I guess, where the land starts grading down this way. And this rectangle here is the 30 by 16 foundation that I'm looking to put in. So this square right here is to scale with the 10-foot rear and the 10-foot side. And you can see that about 2/3 of it would be basically into the hillside. I've had concrete contractors come out. They've basically told me that if that's the only place I can put it, they would basically have to excavate down and basically shelve it into the hillside to make it level. Now, over the past year with Ryan and the contractors working, I know that they've had to dig every 15 by 15 feet for the abandoned mines in that area and grouting them. And I've actually had the, I guess, southwest corner of my house, the brick and mortar have started to crack. They're willing to take care of that, hire a brick pointer, but I'm just trying to avoid any major excavation if I don't have to. Not to say that this is gonna happen, but by reducing it to 2 feet, I've kind of shown it on this graphic. 2 feet would give me the minimum to fit my structure and still kind of fit within the top of slope. And at that point, it would just be surface excavation for 6-inch headers all around, 4-foot slab, the concrete foundation, 6-inch compacted gravel. So that's kind of my plans of what I want to do. I did take pictures of the current side property. This is the current side property taken from the end of my yard up the hill. And right now it's just a big mound of dirt. Ryan Holmes is going to have a lot there. But I've worked with Ryan on some issues in the past throughout this. I've actually emailed Josh Mowry, the general manager of Ryan in the area, and he has no objections to, because they actually they are the current owner of the side and rear adjacent properties. And he said he has no objection to reducing this. So, then this last picture is just the rear. This is a shot kind of showing the rear. They have already planted these little pine trees that will border the new homes on my back. So this whole area of high grass is just going to stay high grass. So that's pretty much all I have.
Okay, does the board have any questions?
What's your plans with the shed? Is that going to be for like your lawnmower or tractor or?
Yeah, so I
Tools.
had a very small shed to begin with. And I had 2 push mowers, a snow blower, a rotting mower, wheelbarrow, all kinds of stuff. It needed to be bigger anyway. Right now everything's in my garage since March, whenever the contractor tore my shed down. So the plan is to put a little patio, have a nice outdoor area, some seats, I actually have a picture of the style of.
Looks like it's a nice patio.
What's that?
It looks nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of new homes are coming in.
No,
My house is from the
I understand.
50s.
Yeah, I
I want to
understand.
do, put a nice improvement.
Right.
I've had some trees taken down. I got to keep my property up to standards, It's a brick house from the 50s, so.
This
there any
T-mark
power?
you have in your yard, is that your layout?
I'm
I
sorry.
was over your house yesterday. You have T-markers in the yard? Is that what the shed's gonna be?
No.
Multicolored T-markers, the balls.
No, so I had a survey done after I submitted this, so that may have been the property markers.
No, they were They were right about where this was at, that's why I thought it was laid out.
Okay. But I did have a survey here, but, and I have copies of the email from Ryan that I didn't have at the time of the application.
Is there going to be any power to your shed, any workshop or anything, or?
Not currently.
Okay.
I mean, the shed will have a little workbench in it, a 6-foot double door, 2 3-foot doors. It's gonna have 3 windows on 2 of the sides and the front, with a little workbench in it, 8-foot workbench. It's gonna have a loft in it. But right now, it's over 120 square feet, but currently no electrical. I already have a contractor secured for March 15th, pending this. I've already gotten the zoning and building permits to Paul and Andy, with the 2-foot setback. If it has to change, it has to change. The shed is already being built, so.
So it's being built and be just dropped on the slab then?
Yeah, so the shed is being built by somebody, Mountain Road Structures in McVeigh. Apparently they have different, I don't know, suppliers. There's one near my work in Leechburg, where they build it there, they deliver it to the place that I'm purchasing it from, Leechburg, and then they will deliver it on a flatbed and drop it in place.
Okay.
So there's no construction of the shed being done on site. It's pre-built.
And who are you having doing the slab work?
The slab work, I'm having A and B concrete
Okay.
out of Irwin. It was more or less, hey, I want to get you on the schedule because we're filling up.
Right.
I said, if something were to happen, can you keep pushing me or sliding me until we get everything resolved? He said, no problem. But I just want to get on his schedule.
Okay.
So,
Do you have any plans on the patio section to ever build something on top of that, like a pergola or anything like that? Or
nothing crazy.
Nothing-
Probably like a little stone, little fire pit with some chairs, put a grill out there, maybe some lights on the side of the shed.
Do you have a copy of the email from Ryan that we can put in the record?
I do, yeah.
Great.
Okay, why don't you give that to the court reporter? Sharon, mark that and make it part of the exhibits.
Okay. Thank you.
And I sent Ryan some of these pictures that I'm presenting here, just to show him where it is. But like I said, I've worked with Josh on the past. I've had to tap in my sewer line because of them in November. Just little issues here and there with all the construction, so.
It's the most comprehensive package for
Yeah,
shed
Oh,
approval.
shed.
That's what Paul said. I mean, I'm an engineer, so I like details, so. I
So
tried to depict what I had, and it's kind of hard to with pictures sometimes, so.
Well, I told the board, I was over there yesterday, knocking on your door. I went over to look, and I see no problem with where you want to set up that giant mound.
Yeah, and that
Disappears.
mound's gonna be there for a while. Looking at the Ryan Homes community plan on their website, they actually don't have lot numbers for those 2 lots. So I don't know if it's gonna be like a community building or if it's actually gonna be a residential lot or what. So, but it's not, it's, the 2 lots next to me, directly next to me, where that mound of dirt is, they're not assigned lot numbers as the first 50 in the phase. So I don't know what their plans exactly are for it. So,
Okay, is that all you have?
that's all I have.
Paul, there is nothing else that came in on it?
Nope, no comments.
No residents, nope.
None.
They're all family, right?
No, not anymore.
Oh, no?
So my other cousin owns the one house, he rents it. My other cousin sold his house to somebody back down the private drive, he rents it. And the other family on the one corner, they actually sold to the developer. So,
Do board members have anything else?
Good.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck.
Good
Thank
luck.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing nothing else on my sheet here, I'll take one more motion.
Which is a motion to adjourn.
which is a motion to adjourn.
Motion,
Okay.
make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moved and seconded, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.